What's up, good people? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Watch the game sports. We are about an hour out from the game one Eastern Conference final game against between the Cavaliers and the New York Knicks. And we're in between games because last night we were able to watch game one of the Western Conference finals. OKC Thunder and San Antonio Spurs. And Ben, I'm gonna tell you, if you listen to the national media and you waiting on them to give you your opinion of these games, I think you're being quite a bit misled. Now, before I dive deep into it, give us your take on this because look, in the conference finals, matchups. It's all about matchups to me. It's all about matchups and strategies. At this point, you only got 4 teams left in the NBA finals. We talked about it last week. How prestigious are the NBA finals at this point in time? And we closed out the show before we were disconnected. I was disconnected anyway and had to end the show abruptly. Thank for those that tuned in. And by the way, continue to tune in and like and share the videos, watch the game sports. It's a reason why I do what I do, why we do what we do, and it's a reason why the show is called Watch the Game, because I try and see it a little bit different. We can get into it. Your top post season American sports. What do you in the postseason? We can get into that a bit, but we can get into this game first. But I'm gonna give you I'm gonna give you a chance to give your rundown, Pen, on what we watched. OKC losing to San Antonio 122-115, and I believe it was double overtime. What you got, Pen?
You know what? I'm gonna just keep it a beam with y'all. I'm gonna just keep it a buck. I did not see not 1 minute of last night's NBA Western Conference basketball contest. I saw the highlights, but as I was watching the highlights and I was listening to, my sports radio shows, national and locally, I was kind of not jealous, just wishful that I had seen the game real time with my own eyes, because I needed to have something to offset how they overhyping this game one. I mean, I've heard Brian Windhorst talking about, he got a strict rule to not overreact on game ones, but he was towing the line of overreacting on game one. I heard the stat line. Well, obviously I didn't see the highlights now, but 41-24, 3 blocks, back and forth game, double overtime. Shea didn't play that well. Again, this marks like a series and a half now. He ain't really played a good basketball game. So I mean, just I wish I could have seen that with my own eyes, so I could filter out some of the noise. But I do think this is the NBA Finals. I think these are the 2 best teams left of the 4. I think these are the 2 best teams that was pretty much in the league all year. But it'll be interesting because they done played 6 times now, and San Antonio done beat them 5. So, I mean, OKC, y'all the defending champs. What y'all gonna do? SGA, you just won the Michael Jordan MVP trophy. What you gonna do? I saw my go three-peat twice. So what you gonna do?
Listen, Pen, unfortunately, you were not able to watch this game in real time, but I did. And I watched it again because I ended up stepping out, going to work, and they went into overtime. And I wasn't able to enjoy overtime as it happened, but I was able to record the game and get back in the morning and watch the later stages of this game. But, okay. Shea, first of all, got his MVP trophy last night, and well deserving. We talked before. We thought that this was the year that you could, if you wanted to say Wemby was the MVP of the league, I would have went for it. If they would have gave Victor Wembanyama MVP, I'm good with it. I wouldn't have had a problem with it. But as for last night's game, okay. If you watching on YouTube, you see that the thumbnail is NBA Conference Finals matchups. The matchups are the key for me. And Coach, what's his name? Mark Dagno.
Yeah, Dagno.
Hey, listen, man, I'm gonna tell you like this. Strategy is everything. Matchups is everything. And I get it. Alex Caruso probably stepped up and said, I guard him, coach. Alex Caruso had a hell of a game, come off the bench, 31 points. Okay? Hell of a game. Really courageous going out there guarding Wemby. Played 31 minutes. But at one point in time in this game, do you say, thanks, Alex, but no thanks? Alex Caruso is 6'5", 186 pounds.
Right. He's 6'5".
6'5", 186 pounds.
Okay.
Victor Wembanyama is 7'4", 234 pounds. There are some key characters in this game. And if you sit here and listen to the national media, Fox Sports, ESPN, they're going to tell you how spectacular Wembanyama was. And don't get me wrong, great talent, amazing. I'm more impressed with his length, stature. I'm not all that impressed with his game because I think he's still developing. I think he has some fundamental flaws that I will point out. He has a tendency to bring the ball down a bit much. He has a tendency to get small at times when he's trying to beat a guy off the dribble. He should never bring the ball down, in my opinion.
But he's so tall, he got to get low with his dribble.
No, you don't. You rip that ball across his head and you go across. You go right around him. I teach it all the time. If you the lowest man, if you small, be small. If you're tall, be tall. If you look at the thumbnail, Wemby dips his shoulder into Alex Caruso several times. One time drawing foul. This is my thing. If you're tall, be tall. If you're small, be small. Wemby's advantage will always be up top. He never has to bring that ball down unless he's coming across the guy's body to put it on the floor. He does not have to get low and rip against anyone other than a 7-footer that's about as tall as he is or better. Other than that, Wemby has no reason to bring the ball down to Alex Caruso's level at all. And I understand Alex Caruso's toughness, his grit, and all of that, getting up under him and make him a passer. I get that. I give him that jump shot all day long. But Wemby, time from time, I see him get a rebound and he won't even chin the ball. I've seen Wemby. You know when you're watching kids play ball and they get a rebound and everybody kind of gets around the ball and they go down. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about? They like go into a fetal position instead of keeping it up and chinning it. When you watch Wemby play, watch how often he chins the basketball. His fundamentals need a little bit of work. Now, don't get me wrong. Spectacular talent. Very imposing stature. Okay? But I've seen better big men. And to be fair to Wemby, he's only 21, 22 years old, has a lot of growing to do. But if you selling me he's the best player in the world, I'm not buying it. Every 2 years, It's someone else the best player in the world. It was Joker. Then it was Giannis. Come on, man.
But
And I'm tell you again, I blame Mike, I blame Magic, and I blame Bird. Because ever since Michael Jordan retired, they've been trying to tell us who the best player in the world was. They trying to market basketball that way for years. Okay? That's what they've been doing. Now that it seems that LeBron is in question, when he's gonna, retire, whatever, they trying to send us. They spend the last 5 years trying to replace that mantle, trying to put another person on that mantle. I don't need you to sell one person to sell the game to me, and that's what it seems like they're doing. I don't want to slight Victor Wembanyama's ability to play the game. I just think that he has some fundamental flaws, and if you're coaching against him, you can probably exploit a few of them. But what makes Coach Dagno think that Alex Caruso should go out there and guard Victor Wembanyama for 31 minutes? It bothers me. Now, Chet Holmgren.
I was waiting on you to get there. Okay, keep
Chet
going.
Holmgren and what's his name? Isaiah Hartenstein.
Yeah.
So after I watched this game, I said, wait a minute, man, my eyes fooling me. I went to the rosters and I went to the tail of the tape. Chet Holmgren. 7'1", 208 pounds.
208.
Isaiah Hartenstein, 7 foot, 250 pounds. And don't get me wrong, the 3 times that I seen Chet guard Wemby, he gave him a problem. He came out at the end of regulation and had a key block. It was a help block. He got over and helped and blocked Wemby's shot to push the game into the first overtime. And then he had another one where he forced him to pass the ball. So I expect for OKC to make that defensive adjustment going into game 2. It pissed me off. I'm like, come on, man. And then when I was watching all of the media to this, I'm like, come on, man. Is anybody going to call out the coach? And we can call. They've been calling out Wemby, and they're not Wemby. They've been calling out Chet. Don't get me wrong. They've been calling him out. But Coach Dagno need to be called out too. He let Alex Caruso go out there for 31 minutes. And most of the time he was guarding Wemby. That don't make any sense. You don't take Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and put Andrew Toney on him. You just don't do it. Mo Cheeks ain't gonna guard Kareem in the playoffs. You just don't do it.
Did Dagno outthink?
Don't make sense.
Did Dagno outthink the room on that, or like you said, was it Caruso saying, "I got him, coach"?
I believe it started by Caruso saying, "I will do it. I will take the challenge, coach." But at some point, you have to say, "Okay, thanks. You did a great job. Hell of a job. You come off the bench, 31 points off the bench, and you went out there courageously and you guarded Victor Wembanyama." Also, another key thing, Jalen Williams. Think this was his first game back. He's missed 2 rounds of the playoffs. And when Caruso wasn't guarding, Jalen Williams was switching off on him.
And with Jalen Williams 6'6", right? 6'7"?
Yes, but it's his first game back. This is what I'm saying. So I expect for OKC to make that adjustment defensively. And when I go into these playoffs, everyone's amazed with the offensive productions of each individual player, and I get it. I try and watch the adjustments, the defensive strategies, as well as the ball, as well as offensively. What are they trying to get accomplished? And there's very little ball and player movement in the NBA. It's a lot of screen and roll, and a lot of guys standing around on the perimeter. I get it. It's why I was talking to Cutter earlier today, and I've been texting Cutter pretty much throughout the day before I got on with you tonight. This is why I often say that the basketball season ended after one shining moment on Monday night. when the Michigan Wolverines won the national championship. As far as I'm concerned, the basketball season was over at that point. What we're witnessing now is basketball, Walt Disney, Peacock, NBA, and entertainment. Because it makes no sense to me that Alex Caruso guards Wembanyama for 31 minutes. It just don't make sense to me. You're not gonna call him the greatest or call him great when he was out there guarding a guy half his size. When he was out there playing against a guy half his size. Don't do that. Don't insult my intelligence that way. As a sports fan, as a basketball fan, don't insult my intelligence. Now, does that mean, do I think Hartenstein can stop Wemby? Probably not. Do I think Chet can stop him? Probably not. But it makes more sense to have them guarding Wembanyama.
Yeah, it does make sense, stature-wise, but just giving credit to Wemby. Wemby did what he was supposed to do with
Exactly. But how much credit are you going to give Jordan for dominating Muggsy Bogues?
Right. Well, anybody could have got it against Mike, though. But it didn't matter the size of Mike. But that's what I'm saying. If Wemby did exactly what he was supposed to do, and I know you as a coach, if you got a big man with a size advantage, y'all gonna pound the ball, y'all gonna give him the ball until the opposing team makes an adjustment. Well, the opposing team chose to play that way for 31 minutes. Hey, Wemby did what he's supposed to do.
He did what he's supposed to do, but I'm not gonna call it greatness. Because I can go and run back the tape when Wilt had to guard Kareem and Kareem had to guard Wilt.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was before pace and space and switching every damn thing. Though.
Well, I don't care, because my thing is, if Wemby's gonna go out on the perimeter, then Chet's got to go with him. If Wemby gonna go out in the post, then Chet got to go with him. Now, honestly, I believe Hartenstein will do slightly better job because he weighs more. Not as tall, but he weighs more. Now, Jalen Williams did a decent job. Alex Caruso, courageous. But what was the final stat line?
41, 24, and 3.
Okay. You gave up 41 points, and you're not going to stop him. Maybe you can cut down a few rebounds. But come on, man. 41 points and 24 rebounds?
24 rebounds.
3 blocks?
3 blocks.
Look, great game by Wemby. Hats off to Wemby. But come on, coach. Come on, Chet.
But you know what, though?
Come on, Isaiah Hartenstein.
But I think, like I said in the opening, I think we just masking the problem with the 41 and 24 that was dropped on their head last night. We masking OKC's problem by calling out Caruso guarding Wemby for 31 minutes. We masking the problem. San Antonio has now beat OKC 5 out of 6 times. So eventually it just gets to a point of A, this team got your number, or B, they just better than you.
They may just be, but I'm just saying, make it make sense, man. Make it make sense. If he's going to be the best player on the floor, compete with him as such.
True. Yeah, I give you that. Yeah.
Compete with him as such. That's all I'm asking. Now, don't get me wrong, because San Antonio, man, they got a hell of a roster. These absolutely are the 2 best rosters in the NBA. Both pretty much built through the draft.
Yep.
And I think this is the direction that the NBA is going, and my hats are off to it. Build your team through the draft. All the super team crap is we kind of doing away with it, and I'm cool with that. But I also need the coaches to coach. I need the adjustments to be made, and I need players to match up correctly.
Let me ask
now,
you,
Chet was guarding Champagnie. Do you think that Caruso could guard Champagnie?
That's a better matchup for him.
Okay, that's all I'm asking. The kid the young number 7 for San Antonio. I don't get his name. He comes off the bench. Let me show you how ridiculous this was. The kid comes off the bench. Wears number 7 for San Antonio. I don't have his name right off the top because he comes off the bench. So, if you can look that up, but let me see if I can get to it. This is who Hartenstein was guarding most of the night. So it means to me, like, anytime Wemby came off the floor, this guy came on the floor, number 7, and that's when they decided to put Hartenstein in the game.
Yeah, Luke Cornett.
So Hartenstein wasn't in the game much when Wemby was on the court.
Yeah, that's big Luke Cornett. I forgot that was his number 7.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it. Luke is a pro. Somebody has to guard him. But what I'm saying is, when Wemby was on the floor, Hartenstein wasn't on the floor. They played a small lineup. Because the reason why they played a small lineup, because you got Chet playing on the perimeter. So now you got 6'8", 6'4", 6'5", 6'6", all the way around Wemby. That's the majority of the lineup. When you sit Hartenstein down, that's their lineup. Chet is standing out on the perimeter at 7 foot. He might as well be 6'6" as well.
Well, maybe that's what, like you said, that's what one of the adjustments Dagno can make is we got to stop adjusting to them and make them adjust to us. Like, we have advantages we can take advantage of. For instance, when you're talking about Hartenstein, we may be down a scorer on the floor, or we may sacrifice something else, in another area of our defense or our offensive attack. But we have to make them adjust to us, because us playing this way ain't working.
No.
And I'm sure this is not the first time that they've tried this strategy. I'm sure in the regular season they wasn't throwing out, they wasn't giving you game-to-game adjustments like they're going to give you in the playoffs. But I'm sure this was one of their core defensive assignments for the San Antonio Spurs, what they trotted out, at least in the first half of game 1.
For 31 minutes. Now, check it out. I'm going to give you some stat lines, because the Spurs, spectacular team. Hey, man, they built this roster really superb. So, Wembanyama, 41 and 24. Dylan Harper, man, great job. 24 points and 11 rebounds. Stephon Castle, 17 and 6. Now, he was turning the ball over quite a bit. No De'Aaron Fox, so he kind of took the hit. He turned the ball over quite a bit, but 17 and 6. And Vassell is his name. 13 points for Vassell. Champagnie with 11. All 5 starters were in double figures, and that includes, they had one come off the bench. One Johnson comes off the bench with 13 points. Superb, man. But see, this is the problem. The defense is the adjustment, because when you look at the box scores for OKC, what I'm saying is you got to make the defensive adjustments, because Jalen Williams back, 26 and 7. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, 24 and 3. Then you had Holmgren with 8. Now,
that's not good enough. Yeah, that's not.
Most people will say that's not good enough. But I don't have a problem with you giving me 8 points if you can give me more defensive stops.
That's what we're saying. That's why it's not good enough. Because
yeah, well, if you can give me more defensive stops, you can score 8 points all day long. I don't really give a damn. No, because you got Alex Caruso comes off the bench with 31 points. He more than made up for the point production in the starting lineup and also off the bench. So I need Holmgren to make the adjustments on defense.
But
he's going to have a good offensive game here. There, go ahead.
Yeah, but for them to win, I think you got to have SGA play at MVP level, which he has not done in this postseason, and this was just another game where he didn't play his best. I mean, he had 24 points on 23 shots, really not efficient. Only 3 assists. I think in the season, I'm sure he was north of 30 for his season average. So he's down, 8 points at least just 6. He's down 6 points. J Dub came back. What you said, 26, right?
26 and 7.
Okay, and then we got Caruso gave you 31. We can't count on Caruso giving you 31 every night. Chet, we went out here and gave you 200 some odd million on the extension because we believe this core, SGA, J Dub, and Chet was good enough to set us up for a 10-year run, and we paid all y'all. So him having 8 points is not enough. He got to have his average, and he got to be able to affect Wemby because that's how we value you. That's how much money we giving you. That's how highly we think of you. We not just giving you this money to come out here and give us a Bill Wennington game.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Now, like I said, I could have lived with him scoring those 8 points because I needed him to do more defensively. He did some things on the defensive end to let me know he has the ability to guard Wemby. I'm not gonna say stop guard Wemby. I'm not gonna say stop Wemby, but I'm saying he got to make the attempt to guard and be competitive. Coaches and players, be competitive with the game plan and the strategy. You cannot tell me that is Alex Caruso. And down the stretch, if you could have seen it, down the stretch, Wemby knew he did what he was supposed to do. Oh, okay. I'm gonna rim run, and I'm gonna dive to the basket, and I'm gonna get down here and we're gonna put Caruso on my butt, and I'm gonna turn around and dunk a ball or get the ball on the rim or whatever. Now, I don't mind having Caruso be a help guy, meaning get a bigger defender on him initially and have Caruso come over to agitate, which might be one of the adjustments they make. You got to force Wemby to be a passer out of the post. If he gonna hit 4 or 5 threes, I'll live with that. But in the post, I'm going to try and make him be a passer out of the post because he's going to get it done regardless. I'm just saying, slow him down to a degree. That's all I'm asking. Just find a way to slow him down to a degree because it allows your guys to get off and also make them run the floor more back and forth. They miss a shot, you get a rebound, make Wemby run. Make him run. Make him run. You cannot walk up and down the floor. You have to speed the game up when Wemby's on the floor. You get a defensive rebound, push it up the floor. And I don't care if you're going to use Chet to do that. If you're going to I would allow Chet to push that ball up the floor. But I do not. Defensively, he has to be more accountable, and I want him to guard Wemby. That's just the end and short of it. Like I said, unless you got more to put on it, I'm picking Spurs. I pick Spurs in 7. Because I'm going with the Walt Disney. I'm going with what I think Walt Disney wants in the NBA. So I'm going to go with Spurs in 7. Although I do respect that the OKC is the champions. They play like champions all season. And San Antonio's been a problem for them. Obviously, they won 1 game and lost 5 so far. So obviously, yes. San Antonio is a big problem for OKC. I get it. You got to find a way to win. That's what champions do. Because for those people that think that the Rockets would have beat the Bulls during their heyday back in the second three-peat dynasty days. Okay, yeah, because the Rockets did have the Bulls number, at times during that era. But the Rockets were never there to beat the Bulls in the finals until the Bulls were done. That's when the Rockets went on ahead and won their 2 championships. But
no, the Bulls. Mike was playing baseball. Let's call it what it was.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Mike retired, and then the Rockets won their 2 championships. But if you go back and watch the regular season matchups, the Rockets did match up well and play well, and Olajuwon was the reason why. Yeah. He was the mismatch. Okay, the Bulls had no answer for him. But the point is, the Rockets never had a chance to prove it in the finals. So OKC, You have a matchup problem with San Antonio. Figure it out. You got 7 opportunities and you just lost one.
Yeah, right. I mean, yeah, I mean the I just think about the Rockets. They were, and you know what? The Rockets, they was defending champs when Mike came back for a full season in '95, and they didn't make the finals. Seattle beat them? I think they did, but yeah,
Yeah. Well, but that's my saying. That's
yeah,
my point. OKC has a chance to defeat these guys and answer that monster. Look, this is the team that we've had a problem with all season, and I get it. I think Jalen Williams has been injured from times most of the season, off and on the floor, off and on and off the court. So missing him might be an issue, but at this point, they have developed a formula for playing without him, kind of like what the Celtics had without Jason Tatum. So OKC has had the opportunity to play without Jalen Williams quite a bit this season, but for some reason they decided to play him 37 minutes last night. Now this is the other question. First 2 rounds of the playoffs, Shea was bringing the ball up, and the Lakers threw a double team at him when he hit when he got over half court. And I see that
San
the
Antonio.
Spurs are kind of doing the same thing. My thing is get Shea off the ball. Get Shea off the ball. Maybe AJ Mitchell, is that the kid's name?
Yeah,
AJ Mitchell may be the guy that you need to bring the ball up and get Shea off. You may have to put Shea in a little bit of a Steph Curry role. Not so much for jump shooting, but just for getting him open so that he can be in a better position to attack. Also, one of the bigs, in my opinion, it has to be Hartenstein. He has to play more minutes, and he has to be the guy that's going to challenge Wemby at the rim. You want to get Wemby off the floor as much and as often as possible. Wemby didn't pick up his first foul until we were 6 minutes into the fourth quarter. So you have to get him off the floor. Find a way to get Wemby off the floor. Now, I don't have a dog in the fight. I just want to see teams compete. And if you're the champs, I need you to compete and defend the house as such. Don't get me wrong. No one expected OKC to run through these playoffs undefeated. They've lost their first game of the playoffs. I question the matchups and the strategies going forward in this series. Like I said, right now I picked the Spurs in 7 because I'm going with the Walt Disney point of view. I think that's what they want. I think that's what they want. But if this is the game plan the OKC is going to put out there, I got them down in 6.
Before the beginning of the series, I picked OKC to win just because I was going with the Disney Walt Disney NBA Peacock narrative.
Yeah.
It hasn't been a back-to-back champion in a while.
Yeah.
Kind of something you brought up a minute ago too, super teams versus building teams through the draft. This would kind of start to kind of usher in that new era. I think wherever Giannis lands this summer will be probably the last iteration of a super team, and then everything else is like San Antonio's through the draft, OKC is through the draft. Pretty much Minnesota was they building the team through the first office. They got Ant, and then they made smart trades, getting Rudy and getting Ayo, DeSumo, and all that. So I think it's gonna be more of that than, like you said, super teaming up. But after just seeing the highlights and realizing that San Antonio then is 5 out of 6, at some point I'm like, man, they might just got their numbers. So I think if it goes 6, if they can close it out at 6, I think San Antonio gets the win. If it goes 7, I think we might see the NBA hand at work, because that game will be in OKC. So OKC might pull it out in that scenario. But yeah, before the series I was saying OKC, but now, yeah. And to be honest with you, I'm kind of not SGA is kind of really irritating me. He's starting to get under my nerves a little bit with the flopping, and he get the parade of free throws, the parade through the free throw line. Like, yeah, I'm not really fond of it. So I don't. He kind of rubbing on me the wrong way.
Listen, I get the Wembanyama narrative. I get it. But when you look at those guys like Stephon Castle, Vassell, Harper, those guys, it's hard to root against those guys. They playing really, really well around Wembanyama. This is a team. I like this team. I like the way this team is put together. You put De'Aaron Fox on the floor, maybe you can limit those turnovers and kind of put guys back in spots as where they belong. But I like the way that the Spurs are constructed. I like this roster. I also like OKC's roster, where it's constructed. But in this series, I think SGA probably need to get a little bit more off the ball. And because you're not going with Wembanyama guarding the paint, you're not going to be able to do a lot of beating guys off the dribble because he's just there waiting on you. And that's the correct strategy to use with a guy like Wembanyama. But you got to kind of get SJ in a point where he's finding other ways to get open off the ball. And then you have to find a way to challenge Wembanyama at the rim. You got to sacrifice him blocking a few shots to do so. Because what you want to do is see if you can get a couple fouls here or there just to get him off the floor a little earlier and force the San Antonio Spurs to be a normal basketball team. Because what's the young guy's name come off the bench? Number 7.
Luke Cornett.
When Cornett is on the floor, you need Cornett on the floor as much as you get Cornett off that bench early and often if you're OKC. And the way you do that is by attacking Wembanyama early. Now, don't get me wrong. If it ain't working, it ain't working. But you got to attack him. That was the one way that when Minnesota did beat San Antonio, they challenged Wembanyama. I think he had like 12 blocks. But the thing is, they put him to work. And they won that game. They beat San Antonio and wore them down. Now, OKC has a much better roster than Minnesota. So I think they have the ability to do the exact same thing. And I believe that OKC has 2 options on scoring the ball, especially when you got Jalen Williams back. And you have to space the floor as such. If you want to put Jalen Williams and SGA in the pick and roll, I'm cool with that too. Because now you're forcing Wemby to make a decision at some point in time. If I'm OKC, I'm putting my best 2 offensive players in pick and roll action if I can, or I'm making sure that I give Hartenstein an opportunity at the rim. I need him to be my Bill Cartwright. Do you remember when the Bulls when they won their championships, they wouldn't play Bill a ton of minutes, but the one thing they did the first 4 minutes of the game, they got Bill established on the block.
Yeah.
He wouldn't finish many games in the last 4 minutes, but they got him established early in the first quarter, first 4 to 8 minutes of a game. Bill Cartwright didn't finish many games.
Yeah.
And I believe you have to take Hartenstein and put him in that same situation. Yeah. I don't need you to finish. I just need you to play well when you're out there. And down the stretch, we still have our guys available, ready, fresh to play. That's what I need. I need Hartenstein to be more of a threat on both ends. Not so much scoring, but I just need him to be a threat, a physical threat on offense, and an imposing threat on defense, a rim protector on defense. And he's going to take a beating in the process. Don't get me wrong. But hey, somebody got to do it.
But so you got San Antonio in 7, right?
I got San Antonio in 7. I would love to see OKC win this. I really would, because I think San Antonio, as much as I like this roster, I think their time will come. But due to the fact you don't see many repeat champions at this point in time, who's when it's your time, it's your time. You better go get it. So if San Antonio wins it, I don't have a problem with that. But I think if there's any team that has a chance to repeat, and we're looking at both of them, and it's San Antonio and OKC. OKC strictly because they're still in it. San Antonio because I do think they have the ability to win a couple championships with the roster the way it's constructed.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we gonna see how it
Yeah,
shakes.
man. So
This is
listen,
the finals.
now we ain't talking much about this Eastern Conference Finals,
We don't need to.
and don't get me wrong. And even with this finals, with these Eastern Conference Finals, we shortly before tip off on that. I'm not gonna talk a whole lot about it right now until they give me a game. You give me game one, and I can kind of get a better reaction because I got to look at the matchups. I got to look at the strategies. But I just think that I think New York might be fooling themselves a little bit with this Carl Anthony Towns running the offense. I think Jared Allen might have a lot to say about that. Mobley might pull some guys away from the rim. I just think that the matchups, man. That's why I can't really say much. All I know is I think the Knicks beat the Cavaliers, and I thought they played 4 games. For some reason, the Knicks beat them 2 out of 3 games. So they got 2. They up 2-1 in the regular season. They beat Cleveland twice.
Was James Harden there for all the games?
No, that's the thing. It's like that's the other element of it all. It's like I said, it's come down to the matchups. I don't know if James Harden was there probably for the last game, but this is gonna be interesting. I just think this game is gonna come down to shot selection because meaning that this series is gonna come down to shot selection because New York has been shooting the ball extremely well from 3. They've had a long layoff. They had a team that pretty much strategically quit or couldn't figure out the best lineup against them when they played the Sixers because you had one team play one way with the Sixers when you had Embiid on the floor. Then when you took Embiid off the floor, you had a different strategy. But I believe that the Cleveland Cavaliers, I think they know who they are. I think they will consistently go at them 1 or 2 ways, and it'll look the same almost every time because Donovan Mitchell is the guy. And then I think James Harden is going to be good for at least 2 good games scoring. Now, I'm talking about overall. I don't know if I want him in the clutch moments, but I think he's good for 2 good games. Now, in this series, I'm going to take. I think I read it down. I want to make sure I got it right. I wrote it down. I got the Knicks in 6, but James Harden can change that. If the Cavaliers win this series,
They not.
James Harden will play a big role in it because Donovan's going to play well. He's going to be motivated to play well. It's his first opportunity on this stage, and I think he's going to play well. But if the Cavaliers are going to be coming out of this Eastern Conference Finals, James Harden this might be his last opportunity to prove such. This is it. So James Harden's going to have to play extremely well. And I think he's going to give us at least 2 good solid games. Tonight is key. The Knicks coming off of a long layoff. And but again, they get the Cavs coming off 7 games, just like they got the Sixers coming off 7. So yeah, it's kind of hard to say, man. I mean, if you're looking at what OKC did last night, they had that long layoff and came up with that horrible game plan. Maybe the Cavaliers can catch the Knicks slipping by. The Knicks thinking that this 3-point shooting team and not shooting particularly well tonight. I can see that happening. The Knicks coming out there bombing away and don't shoot it particularly well. Cleveland sneak out of New York with a win.
I'm. I think the Knicks win this series in 5 games. I think Cleveland wins tonight. The one thing we got to remember: Cleveland has played 7 games in the first round, 7 games last round. They'll be because they're in rhythm, and the Knicks coming off about a week being off, right? A week.
Yep. And I
Yeah.
think they're gonna come in a tad bit overconfident, and I think they're gonna come out shooting at three. And what just say the rim's gonna be unkind, unkind tonight. And I think that's the opportunity the Cavs will have to sneak out of there with a win.
And the Cavs will be in rhythm. I think they won 2 playoff games on the road now. But the Cavs, you can't trust James Harden teams. You just can't.
I understand.
With him on the team, like they beat Detroit, they was up 3-2, and everything in my body told me to go ahead and put about 50 down on the Pistons winning game 6. Because James Harden, it's just something about his teams. They don't take care of business. They don't step on your throat when they got the chance. And then he usually ends up being the scapegoat. I go back to when he was with Philly. Remember he dropped that 40 points, and then they ended up losing game 6 at home, and then Jason Tatum put 50 on them in game 7. Like this is just the aura he brings into the team.
I get it.
That's gonna change. James Harden been in the league 10 plus years now. Like a tiger don't change his stripes. We know.
I get it. I'm gonna put it to you like this: in Game 7, and let me make this point. These Game 7s in the NBA, they have not been great. They have not been great. That Game 7 between the Pistons and the Cavs was just a total letdown. I feel really sorry for the Detroit Piston fans. It was just a damn shame. I mean, I was really looking forward to that game being competitive, but it wasn't. The Cavs went in and just dominated. The owner of the Cavs, I've been listening to a lot of sports talk radio out of Cleveland the last few days. I forget his name. The owner of the Cavs. Do you know that he loaded up buses to leave Cleveland and go to Detroit and watch this game? He had fan buses, and it was extremely effective. They went down to Detroit. They went up to Detroit and watched this game. He had fan buses. That's something that happens in high school sports, college sports. You know what I'm saying? Not professional sport. Now he out of his own coins, his own money, he got fan buses, and it worked. You know, Cleveland, Believeland went to Detroit and got it done.
Believe that.
Say that again.
He's not sending them to Gotham City.
Oh no. Them tickets they cost too much, and they probably sold out anyway. But I got Harden. Harden didn't play particularly well in Game 7. That was more of Donovan Mitchell, and what's the kid's name that came off the bench? Shot really well from 3 for Cleveland the other night. I can't remember his name, but
Strus had a good game too.
Strus was all right. Strus was in the starting lineup. I forget this kid's name that played with New York. That played with Cleveland. Had a really good game. He shot the lights out, made big shots from 3. Let me go to it. But I got James Harden. He didn't play particularly well in Game 7, but I got him playing well tonight.
All right,
got him playing well tonight.
Yeah, tonight he's gonna play good.
I got him playing extremely well tonight, and I think he's gonna get him off to a good, decent start. And now, because if they're gonna win this series, James Harden has to get it done, and it has to start tonight. And then if he gets them going tonight, he could probably take a couple games off and get it going once they get to Cleveland. But I think he's going to answer the bell tonight because I think they're going to catch the Knicks slipping. I think the Knicks are probably going to get a little bit happy shooting at 3. And they're so caught up in Karl Anthony Towns running this offense, and I think that's going to be fool's gold. And I think New York is going to walk away after the game tonight, happen to rethink their strategy, much like OKC is at this moment. and I think they have to attack the Cavaliers a little different because I think Jared Allen is a little bit different. I think he takes more pride in his defense than, especially more so than Embiid.
Well, Embiid, you know,
Embiid can't really move and play defense.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah,
Oh,
Jared Allen is I would say he's a better defender than Embiid right now, given the them Embiid's injury riddled pass and inability to move right now. So I don't think Karl Anthony Towns running this offense for the Knicks is going to quite work the way it has so far in these playoffs. So I got the Knicks in 6. I think that's what I said. Yeah, Knicks in 6, but I got James in 7.
you know what?
James Harden in 7.
Knicks in 6. That feels right actually because you know the NBA need them ratings.
If James Harden shows up, I got the Cavs in 7.
Nah, they Knicks in 6 because the NBA they can't have this series end early, and OKC and Spurs is likely to go the distance. So you know they need basketball on every day.
Yeah, for sure. We can see that. It's most definitely Walt Disney, NBA Entertainment. It's definitely that. Oh, and I'm so glad that these games are not on Amazon. I'm cool. I'm cool on the Amazon. I watch those games, but I'm cool on Amazon. Let's just get this thing on cable and free TV so we can watch. I don't want to be. We didn't eliminate Amazon. I think ESPN and ABC has the Eastern Conference Finals, and Peacock NBC has the Western Conference Finals.
Right.
ABC will have the finals.
Right.
Okay. Yep. So Amazon's out. Okay. Amazon's out. And let's give it up for Amazon. They did a great job, but I'm glad they're out. Now we narrowed it down where we can find these damn games. Cause damn, they had me all over the place, man. But anyway, with that being said, I think we got our points across on who we picking to get in these finals. So I'm saying Spurs and Knicks. You saying Spurs and Knicks?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. But if James Harden,
I said OKC.
Okay, you got OKC and the Knicks.
Yeah.
If James Harden plays well, I need James. If James come on with it, I got him in 7. But anyway, we talked about it last week. We kind of wrapped up, and I'm fully charged. Okay. And we're going to wrap it up by these NBA playoffs. It's more like just watch I don't even know if it's must-see TV.
No, it's not.
I just think we don't have many options right now. Yeah. People, just watching these. A lot of these games probably just in the background. I'm just being honest with you. But we got to talking about it last week, ranking our top American postseason sports, and I think that's when I got disconnected. So I'm gonna do that again, and we can wrap this show up and get ready for the Knicks and the Cavaliers.
All right. So just to recap, I had NFL playoffs number 1, college football playoffs number 2, March Madness number 3, NBA playoffs number 4. Probably if I watched hockey would be 4, and NBA would be 5. Because I hear a lot of people saying how just exciting playoff hockey is. I just never took the time to understand the game and really watch it unless the Blackhawks in it. I'm just bandwagoning in. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so but the first 4 though, that's the first 3, that's solid. NFL, college football, March Madness, and then we throw an NBA in there. And I will challenge anybody to debate me on that.
Okay, so we agree. Number 1, NFL playoffs and Super Bowl. That's number 1 in my book. The NCAA tournament, all the way up to the national championship. That's number 2. Men's NCAA tournament, all the way up to the national championship game. That's my number 2. NCAA college football championship because it's still growing. And those first few rounds, I don't know if people are watching them, but people definitely people are taking days off to watch March Madness on Thursday morning.
Oh yeah,
It's okay. So that's second. Okay.
this is why I wouldn't say a second because football is king.
We talking about postseason though.
Football is king. NFL, that's king.
I got it.
Football, that's king. They
Yeah.
in this playoffs to get more money. They breaking in millions of dollars viewership.
I got it. I got
It's
it.
crazy off the charts. You've been to the big house. You've seen it.
Mm-hmm.
I can't put that. I love basketball, but I cannot put March Madness over NCAA. Well, what is it? The
We
college.
just talking about the postseason.
The
Now, if
college-
you're talking about the championship game itself, you might have a point. But I'm saying from beginning to end, the postseason, people are taking time off. Don't get me wrong. Look, on Thursday morning at 11 a.m., this is when the games tip off Central Standard Time.
right?
NCAA tournament kicks off on a Thursday morning at 11 a.m. and it goes off by midnight.
Yeah, 11.
And people are making sure that they're where they're supposed to be for the first round tip off of the NCAA tournament. They watching it at work. They taking extra lunch breaks. They taking vacation days. They planning their doctor's appointments around it. Okay. Now, when you talk about college football, I can't say the same because the simple fact that we're going to start this thing on Thursday morning says a lot. Look, be there or be square. So we're going to start this thing on Thursday morning. Ain't nothing prime time about Thursday morning but the NCAA tournament. Okay? Now, college football is a build-up to the national championship. Now, you cannot tell me, do you remember the first round matchups of the NCAA college football playoffs? Probably not. Now, you know the national championship game.
Right.
It was time, that thing is still growing on us.
But
So it's number 3 in my book.
the first round matchups on Thursday morning?
Listen,
It's not a lot of juice in the building for
listen.
them. You know how
People, I didn't even mention that people do a whole damn bracket. And they sitting down at 11 a.m. or 12 Eastern trying to make sure that their bracket ain't busted. Say again. NCAA college basketball tournament is number 2.
All right, you go with that.
Blame Magic and Bird for that because it was a build-up. Now, NCAA football, college football, national college football playoff is growing and it's a great product. It don't give us the same week-to-week value from the first four to the Sweet 16 to the Elite 8 to the Final Four. It has a title for each week. It has a headline title for each week, other than just first round, second round. You get where I'm going with this.
Okay, I give you that.
All right. It affects people's lives at 11 a.m. on a Thursday morning. And if you're not watching it, you're on your phone trying to figure out what the hell's going on. Where is my bracket doing? You don't get that from the NCAA college football playoffs. Now, what you will get is a bunch of bandwagon fans. I went there. I stayed next door. I stayed 30 minutes away from that school. You will get that. And it is growing, and I love it. So it's number 3 on my list. Let me finish my list out. We'll be all day. Then I have at number 4, the NBA playoffs And I really dig into the NBA playoffs when we get to the conference finals. I say again, they should move their first round back to the best of 5 in the NBA playoffs. But I really pick up my interest in the conference finals. Okay, so NBA playoffs, number 4. MLB playoffs, going into the World Series, I got that at number 5. And because since I do not watch hockey, that's my last one.
Hockey is 6.
That's it.
See,
I don't even know who won. I don't know who was in last year's World Series. Sure the hell don't know who was in the NHL playoffs Stanley Cup last year either.
The Dodgers beat the Blue Jays.
Okay, you reminded me.
Yeah,
Great.
Yeah.
I didn't. I mean, I'm pretty sure I watched a game, but you get where I'm going with this. I know damn well I didn't watch a game in the NHL playoffs. I know damn well I didn't do that.
Yeah, I know.
I know I didn't do that. I'm going to tell you that, but I know I watched at least one game of the World Series. So that's my ranking. American postseason, man. That's it. NFL, NCAA college basketball, NCAA college football playoffs, NBA at number 4, number 5 at MLB, and going into the World Series, and maybe I'll figure out a way to watch me an NHL game this year in the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Well, you better hurry because they finna
finals. I see, man, but I got the Knicks and I got the Cavaliers tonight, so I don't think I'll be watching NHL tonight either. Okay, I got Jalen Brunson and Donovan Mitchell squaring off in a few minutes. It is what it is, man. Hey, your Yankees though. Since we talk about these other sports, your Yankees in first place still, right?
Yep.
Okay.
First place. Rays. Well, it's only about 3 teams in the AL above 500. The Yankees, one of them. But one of the reasons I have not been locked in on NBA basketball, playoff basketball, I've been more interested in what's happening on the South Side with the Chicago White Sox.
Yeah, you got a point there because that was my next thing. I mean, the Cubs, one of the better teams in baseball, and they just had the I don't know what they call in this series, the Windy City Classic series, where the White Sox came out and won 2 out of
series. I think
Crosstown, the Crosstown Classic. The White Sox came out and won 2 out of 3 games there, and now most people are looking to see how the Cubs rebound coming out of that series, and they dropped one already to the Brewers, and then and how the White Sox continue to, if they can continue to play well after winning that series. I think it probably meant more to the White Sox than it did for the Cubs. So the question between Cubs and White Sox is, since we're talking about that, is now I think they'll meet again in another series later on in the season at Wrigley this time. The question is, how well will both teams be playing between that series up into the next series? That's the thing. Will the White Sox still be playing above 500, and will the Cubs still be one of the top teams in the National Leagues? I think the Brewers competing with the Brewers and stuff like that. And I think the Pirates, if I'm not mistaken, the Cubs have a lot. And I think even the Sox, they not too many games out of first, all right?
The Sox going into tonight, I think they 3 games back. 2 or 3 games back. I think their record is 24 and 23 or something like that.
So the city can definitely use the 2 baseball teams playing at a high level up into the next meeting, and maybe even into the postseason, leading us all the way to what I didn't really want to get into. The big thing is the football season, and I don't want to get off into that because we're going to talk about that. That's the reason why we do it in the first place. But that just winds us down into basketball, into football. So Cubs, White Sox playing well. Your Yankees in first place. I think they had their Subway series with the Mets this past weekend.
Yep.
How did they do in that one?
Mets. I think the Mets got them the first game, and then the
Mm.
Yankees won. I forget who the Yankees play tonight. I gotta check their schedule though. But yeah, baseball. About every handful of years, baseball has a spring and summer where it really keeps me locked in all the way up until we getting into training camp, and this just it's right on cue this year.
Yeah. So, hey man, not gonna be much longer. We can go on. It's been good tonight. Thanks for watching. Get ready for Knicks and Cavaliers, man. They about to tip off in about 15, 20 minutes. And we'll be back next week to we have more basketball to talk about. Maybe OKC being made their adjustments. And then we'll have more of the identities and the strategies that's going on in that Western Conference Finals. And then we'll know if James Harden has stepped up in these Eastern Conference Finals to make a difference for the Cleveland Cavaliers against the New York Knicks.
Like, comment, and subscribe. We out.